Gavin Kaysen was born in California, but raised in Minnesota with dreams of exploring and traveling around the world. He certainly didn't know that he would be kicking off an award-winning culinary career by making sandwiches at Subway. But that is exactly what happened. After working his way through some of the top restaurants in Europe, he returned to the U.S. in a position in San Diego, where he was named one of Food and Wine magazine's best new chefs. In 2007, he moved to New York City to work with acclaimed chef Boulud at Café Boulud. And the rest, as they say, is history.
He returned home to the Twin Cities in 2014 to open his own restaurant, Spoon and Stable. It received a James Beard nomination for Best New Restaurant after being open a few months, and was recently named one of 5 of the best restaurants in the country by Food and Wine. Chef Gavin Kaysen, welcome to the dish.
Thank you.
And you brought duck. We haven't seen duck for a while.
Good. Well, I'm glad. This is a local duck, actually. We get this duck from northern Minnesota. It comes from Brainerd. The company's called Wild Acres, or the farm is, and it's really exciting. The gentleman that we work with, Pat, he's really worked with us on the duck, and it's just great for us to get back into Minnesota and just see all these roots of all the farmers and what they come up with. It's really beautiful.
Keep walking us through the table, though, because we've got so many wonderful things. And I think I said Cosmo, right? Was
Yep,
that right?
So this is the Cosmo. This is called Nancy's Cosmo. It's named after my mother.
Nancy was good with Cosmo?
She just loves the Cosmo. So when we opened the restaurant, I said, Mom, I'm going to name a drink after you. So it's the Nancy Cosmo. And when I took it off the menu for a brief moment, she was like, put it back up. Creamy spinach with fried cheese curds, just because cheese curds are such a staple for us. This is the duck with plums, kohlrabi, and mustard greens. This is a salmon tartine with pumpernickel bread, spaghetti nero with mussels, and this is a honey and cream cake. We look at a lot of the pillars of cuisine. We say, okay, can we use dairy and can we use grains and things like that? So that's where we focus a lot of it on right now.
I want to hear more about your beginnings at Subway.
Sure. So, I mean, this is, I had a gentleman come in. His name's George Serra. He now eats, he lives in Minnesota. He eats in my restaurant every single Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, wow.
And he came in every Saturday and ordered this 4-inch Subway and ordered a 4-inch tuna fish sandwich on a round bun. He'd order it, he'd walk in, he'd walk out, and he'd throw it away.
You saw him throw it away?
Every time. And I said, George, I don't understand why you throw this away. And he said, I'm just watching you with the guest, because I would memorize what the guest would order. Because we were in a business district, so I thought if I could memorize what they would get, it would help me move the line faster.
So he was studying you.
So he was studying me, and I didn't realize I had this hospitality niche inside of me, but I guess I did, and that's what he saw, and he recognized it, and so I started to work for him.
Wow, what a great
It was a lot of fun.
It all starts at Subway. I love that.
Certified sandwich artist, mind you. So
Certified sandwich artist?
Oh, yeah, I still have the certificate.
That's your title? So, and this man ends up hiring you he had a restaurant?
He did, and it was next door. So, he offered me $1 more an hour, and at age 16, what did I care? $1 sounded like a lot of money, so I went for it.
You sure are.
And so I just went over with him, and I started to work for him. And he just taught me about the business and the passion and the industry and what it meant to be a part of cooking and just this whole world, and it's just amazing to see where it is now.
On paper, I think people would see that you worked with Daniel Boulud for 8 years in New York and think he had the dream resume. But you decided to go to Minneapolis, and it seems like there's a shift happening. We see a lot of chefs now who come to New York, really learn the craft, and then go back to their hometown.
Yeah, for me, I spent almost 9 years with Daniel, which he's my mentor, and I love him dearly, and it was one of the best experiences in my life for my cooking career. But it was also a time for me to sit back and reflect and say, okay, I'm 36 years old. I was 35 at the time, and say, what do I want to do and what do I want to do next that's impactful for this industry? And by going home to Minneapolis, I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. My wife and I can watch our children grow up with my parents, their grandparents, and be around family. And that had a lot of impact on that decision.
I want to ask you real quickly. You have this whole spirit of mentorship continues because you are the head coach to the, I want to get this name right, Bocuse d'Or USA team, a cooking team essentially.
Right.
And you took home the silver medal in this contest this year, which is huge for the USA.
Yeah. So Philippe Tessier, who was the executive sous chef at French Laundry, was our candidate. He took home the silver, and it was historical. I mean, no country outside of Europe has ever done better than third, and we took second place, which was massive. And now we're getting ready. December 17th in Las Vegas will be the U.S. finals for us to pick who the chef is going to be to represent the United States for the Bocuse d'Or. And we'll spend the next year training that individual.
Wow.
Well, we sure are glad you got that Subway job.
Yeah. Me too.
As we get your signature on this dish, Chef Kaysen, we want to know if you could have this meal with any person, past or present, who would that person be?
Because of how amazing she was yesterday, I want to cook for the Italian tennis player who beat Serena. She's incredible. So I have pasta for her. So if she wants to show up, I'm ready. I can recharge her batteries.
It'll be a lively conversation based on what we see. Chef Gavin Kaysen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for more on Gavin Kaysen and the dish, please head to our website at cbsthismorning.com.